Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Huzaifah Ahmed and it's been 3 to 3.5 weeks since I have joined Rehan School Korangi campus. Today my topic of discussion with ChatGPT is overcoming procrastination. Let's start. Hey ChatGPT, today I am going to discuss with you on overcoming procrastination.
That's a great topic. Procrastination is something a lot of us struggle with, so I'm really looking forward to diving into it. Where would you like to start? Maybe the psychology behind it or practical tips to tackle it?
We'll talk about the psychology afterwards, but first tell me what is even procrastination? Try to define this complex sounding word in easier English so it is understood by everyone. Also define, is it laziness or is something deeper going on?
Yeah, absolutely. So, procrastination is basically when we delay or put off tasks, even though we know we should be doing them, often until the last minute or just not at all. And it's not the same as laziness. Laziness is just not wanting to do something, but procrastination is more complex. It's often tied to things like fear, perfectionism, or feeling overwhelmed. So, there's usually something deeper going on beneath the surface.
Alright, why do even highly disciplined people that I personally know of procrastinate sometimes?
Yeah, that's a really good point. Even people who seem super disciplined can procrastinate because it's not just about willpower. Often, even they face those internal roadblocks like fear of failure, uncertainty, or just not knowing where to start. So, even if they're generally reliable, procrastination can still sneak in, especially when tasks feel overwhelming or ambiguous.
Okay, now let's talk about the psychology. What's the psychological reason we delay tasks that we know are important?
Yeah, so from a psychological perspective, procrastination often ties back to our emotions rather than just logic. For example, tasks that feel boring, overwhelming, or outside of our comfort zone can trigger anxiety or a fear of failure. So we delay them to avoid those uncomfortable feelings, even though we know they're important. It's kind of like a short term emotional coping strategy, even though it backfires in the long run.
Alright, now is procrastination always bad or can it be sometimes useful?
That's a really interesting point. So it's not always bad. Sometimes a bit of delay can actually give your brain space to process, and you might come back to a task with better ideas or fresh energy. What matters is the pattern. If it becomes chronic, it's a problem. But once in a while, a little mental breathing room can actually be productive.
I don't still get it. In what way is it good and useful? Explain me with example so I can understand it better.
Sure. So think about something like a big creative project. Maybe you're writing a report or brainstorming a new idea. If you give yourself some time before starting, your subconscious might keep working. You might come up with more creative angles or solutions you wouldn't have thought of on the spot. So it's not about avoiding the task, it's about allowing that extra mental incubation time to create a better outcome.
Alright, now how does social media specifically feed procrastination? And why is it so hard to stop?
Yeah, social media is a huge one. It's designed to be really engaging. Those quick, constant notifications and endless scrolls give us a little dopamine hit. So even though we know it's pulling us away, it's super hard to resist. Plus, it gives us a sense of instant gratification, which we often pick over the longer term satisfaction of finishing a real task.
So just tell me a way that we can avoid this because even though we know it is bad, we still do it because of the way it is made.
Totally. One practical strategy is to set up specific boundaries, like use app blockers or set a timer. For instance, you can say, "Oh, work for 25 minutes, no distractions." Then give yourself a 5-minute social media break. Or you can turn off notifications during deep work sessions. It's all about creating intentional breaks so you can stay in control.
Now, what's the difference between productive procrastination and just wasting time?
Good distinction. Productive procrastination is when you delay one task by doing something else useful, like organizing your workspace or planning ahead. You're still being productive, just not on the main priority. But wasting time is when you just scroll, binge, or do mindless stuff with no purpose. So productive procrastination still nudges you forward, while just wasting time is a total drain on your momentum.
What's the actual difference between productive procrastination and just wasting time?
Yeah, so the core difference is really about intention and outcome. With productive procrastination, you're still moving forward, just on a different task that may be indirectly useful. For example, while avoiding a big project, you might finally organize your to do list or learn a new skill. Wasting time, on the other hand, is aimless. You're just avoiding everything, and you don't get any meaningful progress. So the key is
Does perfectionism cause procrastination? And how do you break that cycle? Like, if we just don't take the first step because we just want everything to be perfect, it's part of a human psyche. How do we overcome that?
Yeah, absolutely. Perfectionism is a huge driver of procrastination. When we're afraid the first step won't be perfect, we just freeze. To break that cycle, you have to lower the stakes. Start with small, imperfect steps. Remind yourself that progress matters more than perfection. And also give yourself permission to fail. It's part of learning. And once you take that first step, it usually gets easier.
What role does fear play in procrastination, and how do you overcome it again?
Yeah, fear plays a big role. Often we put off tasks because we're scared of failing, looking incompetent, or just not living up to expectations. To overcome it, you have to reframe failure. See it as a chance to learn rather than a catastrophe. Also, break tasks down into super small steps so they feel less daunting, and just focus on showing up, even if it's imperfect.
Now give me a list and in detail explain everything. What are the most effective strategies to beat procrastination that actually work long term?
Absolutely. So, here's a detailed list of some of the most effective long term strategies. First, set specific, achievable goals. Instead of vague plans, break things down into small, clear steps. That makes them less overwhelming. Second, create a routine or a daily schedule. When tasks have a set time, it reduces that decision fatigue, so you're just following the habit. Third, use time blocking techniques like the Pomodoro method. Work in focused intervals, then take short breaks. Keeps your mind fresh. Or remove distractions, turn off notifications, set up a distraction free workspace, and even put your phone out of reach. Fifth, practice self compassion. Acknowledge that everyone procrastinates sometimes and don't beat yourself up. That reduces the guilt that often keeps you stuck. Sixth, set accountability. Share your goals with a friend or a mentor so they can check in on you. External accountability keeps you honest. And finally, reflect on progress. Regularly check in on what worked and what didn't and adjust. That way you keep improving and stay consistent.
Now my last question is, what's one thing someone can do in the next 5 minutes or so to stop procrastinating right now at that exact moment?
Ah, perfect. So, one simple thing is just to set a 5-minute timer and commit to doing the smallest possible step, just the first bit. Once you start, the momentum usually kicks in. So, just pick one tiny action, set the time, and get going. Before you know it, you'll be in motion.
All right, everyone. This was the end of my discussion with ChatGPT. It was really productive and I liked how it explained everything. Until the next time and until the next task, bye bye and Allah Hafiz.